All right, Victor. Victor, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
I was born in Peckham, England. Grew up till I was 6 or 7 in England, Romania, Bulgaria, a bunch of places. Came to America when I was about 7. Still continued. I think I told you, like, was a missionary kid and all that.
So you guys moved around a lot.
Yeah, continued that till I was 11, but I mean, primarily birth to 7 was the most prominent movements.
What was your family like?
My father is a very intelligent man who is desperate to save the world because he can't save himself and he can't save his family. So he's going to kill himself being a missionary to try and save the world, to fix it or something. Barb is the same, but more of a sociopathic, everything's about her. What is it? Not dual personality. Something like dual personality, but it's not. Forget what it's called right now. Borderline personality. Borderline personality disorder. That about sums up Barbara.
Your mom.
Yeah.
How did your parents' personalities impact you as a kid?
How did they impact me? Well, until I was 9, I was afraid of everything in the world. Gotten lots of fights where people jumped me, but never intended to get in a fight. Just was attacked all the time because, the weak, pathetic, scared ones generally do. Wanted to be like them. What else? I was a kid.
You felt loved as a kid?
No. I'm not even. After years of searching databases and online forums and movies and everything else, I still don't exactly understand the definition of what loved is. I think the closest would be what I feel for my wife.
You're married.
Yeah, I am now married. A lovely lady who's gonna be dead any month.
Why is that?
Congenital heart failure, kidney failure, liver failure. Her thyroid doesn't produce any chemicals whatsoever. The doctors told her she had anxiety disorder, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, 1,000 different things. Didn't know what was going on with her, and then come to find out when you put a gun to one of their head, and they actually have to look you in the eye and look your wife in the eye and look at the paperwork and go over everything. They're actually pretty good at finding out what's going on. And so her thyroid hasn't been producing whatever chemicals thyroids produce. I can't even think of what that is. For a couple years whatsoever. She's been staying alive by I don't know, willpower and some knowledge I picked up from my Native American family. Taught me with native herbs and treating sicknesses and whatnot.
You're living on the streets now.
Yep.
And where's your wife?
She is in a tiny home in a tiny village not too far from here.
Oh, for the homeless up in North Hollywood?
Not in North Hollywood, but yeah.
Yeah, one of the tiny home communities.
Yeah.
The drugs are a part of your life now. How long has that been going on?
Oh, let's see. Got in some type of accident when I was 7, so they started me on liquid codeine opiates that tasted like bubble gum. So from pretty much 7 on, I shot heroin and knew. Nah, the first time I shot heroin, I didn't even have any concept what it was, but I shot it up. I was 11. And yeah, drugs have always been part of my life. Painkillers, sleeping pills, alcohol, anything. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, BDSM, everything.
Your wife is in a homeless community for drug related reasons, or
No, she's in a homeless community because her family lost a son and lost a grandmother and realistically she took care of the grandmother while the mother couldn't handle it, and so now her mother despises her, can't stand to be around her, so she now has my wife's daughter and made sure that she got rid of her own daughter on as far away as possible as she could. Chicago to here.
and your drug now is what?
Sorry?
Your drug currently is
Drug as in singular. My drug
which drugs?
ratio a day,
What cocktail are you using?
Xanax, Valium, Klonopin, heroin, ecstasy, meth, occasionally fentanyl, laudanum. Forget the name of that one. It's really good. It's got wormwood in it. Makes you hallucinate. It's a drink. It's green. You put little cubes of sugar on it and set it on fire. Absinthe. Try and at least have 1 cup of absinthe a day. That's getting hard because I have to make it myself, and it's hard to get a hold of everything anymore.
Where are you staying now?
Well, last night I stayed outside here.
In a tent or just on the street?
No, I just
Or you're taking crystal meth so you don't sleep?
sat down and went through all my stuff with someone that I met last night, that we were smoking PCP and I think DMT and some other things, and got convinced that everyone was demons. So he said that we should come down here because here would be no demons. I guess for him it's probably like that older black man. This probably has no demons in this area. Me, younger white guy, I am the demon in this area.
What's the hardest part of your life right now? Your wife's situation?
Yeah, the fact that I have to watch my wife die and I can't do anything about it. I've already figured that out because I'm very, very, very adept at getting people to do what they need to do when I feel like the time has come for me to stop being nice. And it came and it went, and it doesn't matter if you're nice or not. If the doctors are a bunch of fucking imbeciles that don't know, they don't know. So your wife can take all the synthetic hormone shit that they give her and quit drugs and become part of a community and work out and eat 3 meals a day and everything else. And when you go back into the doctor after like 8 months, when they're done twitching because they don't know how to handle being fucking put to task, like they all should be anyway, why not? I was put to task my whole life. Why do other people get to not be? Anyway, I digress. No new news is not always good news. It's just no new news. Or just same old fucking news. She's dying. You need to prepare yourself. Have you ever lost somebody?
I lost my mom a couple years ago.
Were you able to prepare yourself?
Yes and no. I mean, kind of. On some levels, yes. On other levels, no.
That's incredible. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, but
Really, I really
your wife
am.
is young, I assume.
I'm sorry?
Your wife is young, I assume.
Yeah, she's younger than me. She is 38. 38. And this is going to be my second time widowed. So, I guess in a way I've adjusted. I've acknowledged what I need to deal with. I've set up for the necessary legal bullshit with, the government trying to keep her body if I don't have enough money to pay for the pauper's grave, or her parents deciding that they're just going to take the body and move it along and screw you. I've dealt with all that, so I guess in some ways I'm prepared, but not in any meaningful, life-enriching, or even just a little less depleting way.
And drugs help you cope with it all?
Yeah, drugs are the only thing either of us has. We make jokes about it all the time.
Your wife uses as well?
She started back up. I got her to quit. She was on fentanyl. Killing herself off of that. I brought her back 9 times. Mouth to mouth, blah, blah, blah. And then one day said, "Why am I bringing you back? You obviously want to die. The doctor's already said you're going to die. What's the point?" So she quit for like 7 months. And now I do what I can to put together money to get together the heroin and meth and Xanax and Valium, etc., 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 ad infinitum, ad nauseum, truly, to supply her habit.
What emotions do you deal with mostly?
Rage. Rage and fucking hate. And an undying desire to inflict pain upon this world. So all the pretty people could have 30 minutes of my life. You know? I could put that right through into your brain. And it would be the kindest thing I ever did to you.
Do you have kids?
No, I watched my wife and daughter die in a fire.
Your first one?
Car fire.
Wow.
Car bombing, really. Let's be real. People were after me because I was starting to make money because I had a daughter and I didn't know how to deal with it. And I needed money to take care of my kid. So I started doing a version of what my parents did. They were good Christian smugglers. I was just a smuggler. Then people got upset at me for doing too well. Because that's how this world works. Don't ever think that like you're supposed to do well. No. Know this for a fact, because I know this for a fact. And I've lived life. I've lived more lives than most people will ever have to fucking face. Your job is not to do things well. Your job is to fail. If you do things well, the world will hate you, and it will do everything to destroy you. And if it can't destroy you, if you're too fucking strong, or you're too fucking numb, or you're like me, a little mixture of like all of the above, not really too strong because I'm not a badass. I'm a psycho. So I don't feel most of the pain. So that makes you seem like a badass. And I've felt so much pain in such a short period of time that what's it called? The soul, I think, left me, broke, died, whatever, ran away. And so when I put my mind to something, I can do it. But that's not what they actually want. They teach you that in school. They teach you that in school. But that's not what they want. They want you to fail. They want you to be a robot. They want you to be just another miserable, pathetic version of them. That's it. If you achieve anything other than that, without even intending to achieve it, you'll be cursed to a life where most people hate you, where your own family hates you, where the people that you used to think you could go to and cry on their shoulder pull back in disgust at your presence, let alone at the possibility of your face touching their shoulder.
What are you afraid of? What do you worry about?
Death. Not because I'm scared of dying, not because I think it'll hurt. I hope it does. I'm scared of death because my mother managed to inflict in me a belief that I don't even hold anymore. Not truly, but I can't get rid of either, which is, one, there is a hell. And hell hell is for people like me. Demonic creatures that were never meant for anything other than destruction. Her words, not mine.
Have you always had this dark view of the world? Before your two wives?
When I was 5, I got to stay over at my best friend's house, which was not the missionary, but the pastor's son, Nathan. And we had all these plans. And then come to find out, his parents were going out of town and his brother was watching us. So for the next 4 hours, his older brother, the good Christian boy he was, raped us, his brother, and his brother's best friend. It wasn't fun enough, so he called in his best friend to join and make it more enjoyable. When I was 9, I was arrested in Bulgaria because my family was accused of child pornography because my parents were missionaries and because they took pictures for slides for the Christian movies and video footages and whatnot. My father had made it out of the country, so I was the man of the family. In that culture, being 9, you were a full-grown man. I was tortured for 4.5 days. In ways I'm not even going to bother to explain. Before suddenly my father's friend, who was a American ambassador or some shit like that, came in with American military and pulled me out. I have always been evil. I have always been dark. I have always been in pain. I have never known anything other than this reality, except for when I died. And that reality was much fucking worse. Don't believe the stories of nice floaty up above the bed stories and shit like that. No, that's not what happens, at least not to people like me. I hung myself while I was being put into an adult prison as a juvenile in America. Because my mother had decided that she was done with me and my father, so she lied in a court of law and brought charges of rape against both me and him, against her and my sister, and all this wonderful stuff. And the small town Nebraska faggot judge ate it up, screamed at me for being such a piece of shit. They pulled my poetry writing, which had some Metallica. Poor Metallica. They always get pulled into this, don't they? Metallica fucking quotes and some fucking stupid shit like that, because that was the time period. And wham bam, thank you ma'am, I got locked up. So I killed myself. I was dead, according to their charts, for an hour. According to my mind, I was dead for 2 years. I have 2 years extra memory. Try that one out. And nobody will believe you. Because this isn't happy story tales of a 5-year-old boy who, makes up, or maybe doesn't make up, but repeats or states or whatever the fuck, his near-death experience, only to come out later on in life and say, oh, it was all a fake. Blah, blah, blah. No, because that's okay. When you are when you're nothing, just another pathetic demon ruining the life of a good Christian woman. Doesn't matter if you write a book, nobody's gonna read it. I know. I've written a few.
Victor, what's the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
Most important lesson? Thing that's split. Go down deep inside your soul and stab yourself repeatedly until you have no emotions. And do it as soon as possible. And yet at the same time, find someone that loves you, that you can love. And that's a big deal. That loves you and you can love. And love them. Give them everything you got. Doesn't matter what it is. Good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. Just give them everything. And if the world tells you you're evil for it, who cares?
All right, Victor. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Sorry about your wife.